the likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford? It would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and no.
Turki Alalshikh has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to orchestrate one of boxing's most anticipated matchups, Terence Crawford vs Canelo Alvarez. Backed by an astonishing $95 million purse offer, the proposal had all the ingredients of a mega fight. The money was there, the intrigue was real, and the fans were buzzing. But in a twist that stunned the combat sports world, Crawford has ultimately decided to walk away from the lucrative deal.
If it isn't Canelo next year, are you done from the sport, Terence?
I wouldn't say that. Right now, I'm just weighing out my options and looking for the best opportunities and options for Terence Crawford in my career.
Absolutely.
This move caught nearly everyone off guard, especially from a fighter whose career has often been defined by an unrelenting pursuit of greatness. For someone who has spoken passionately about legacy and competition, the rejection of such a massive offer sparked controversy. The boxing community is now divided, with some seeing it as a smart negotiation tactic, while others view it as a squandered shot at immortality.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. What is your honest thoughts on that as an opportunity and a potential fight?
Oh, it's always is a chance there, right? We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals and always.
Despite the setback, Turki Alalshikh isn't ready to throw in the towel. He remains fully committed to making this bout a reality and is now willing to bypass intermediaries to negotiate with Canelo directly. His aim? To establish what he calls a fair price. But the word fair takes on different meanings when one fighter is being asked to risk it all while the other stands to gain fame, wealth, and legacy with relatively less risk. Canelo has long established that his fights are premium events. He's meticulous about what he signs up for, particularly when there's a chance that a misstep could tarnish the reputation he's spent years building. From his point of view, facing Crawford brings financial incentive, but not much else. It's not a legacy fight for him. Even if he wins, skeptics will argue that he avoided tougher challengers like David Benavidez, who loom large at 168 pounds.
For me, I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say this too small, and then, he needs to.
Crawford's obsession with fighting Canelo isn't irrational. It's rooted in the understanding that such a showdown would offer him exposure, prestige, and generational wealth, everything a fighter at his level aspires to. But this intense focus has created an unusual narrative. Turki Alalshikh had promised Crawford he could line up any bout he wanted, yet Crawford isn't entertaining any other names. Rising stars like Jaron Boutsenis, awkward threats like Sebastian Fundora, or dark horses like David Morrell, none of them are even on Crawford's radar. To him, they represent a regression, not progress.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Najimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to beat him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make his.
But Crawford's refusal to explore those alternatives could prove costly. Taking on someone like Benavidez wouldn't be seen as a step back, it would be a bold move that could elevate his standing. Even a loss could be explained by Benavidez's youth, natural size advantage, and relentless aggression. The same holds true for Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol. These opponents would push Crawford to his limits, and win or lose, the respect he'd gain would be monumental. In the world of elite boxing, sometimes taking the risk is more meaningful than securing the win.
Realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think.
Yet Crawford appears disinterested in any challenge that doesn't end with Canelo. That tunnel vision has begun to puzzle longtime fans and analysts alike. Is he genuinely chasing glory? Or is he simply unwilling to endanger his spotless record for anything less than an all-in-one payday, legacy booster, and fame amplifier? As time passes, the criticism intensifies. Fighters like Benavidez and Morrell are loudly campaigning for marquee fights, while Crawford's silence on them has become increasingly hard to justify. Fans are growing restless and vocal.
is his weight class. 75 is his weight class, and you know he do nothing in 175. Really, no, he's not the same.
On the flip side, Canelo is grappling with his own dilemmas. The fight that purists and casuals alike want to see is against David Benavidez. It's the clash of titans everyone's been waiting for. But reports suggest Canelo is demanding a staggering $200 million for that fight, which puts the $100 million Crawford offer into sharp perspective. It almost seems like a bargain. If such sky-high demands are Canelo's baseline, then expecting him to face Crawford for less money and lower stakes seems increasingly unrealistic.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, fight hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turkey offered you a big money.
This entire situation is entangled in complexity. Turkey's commitment to making this fight happen is admirable, but his optimism might be clashing with the reality of elite boxing negotiations. Convincing Canelo requires more than just deep pockets. It demands a proposal that aligns with his values, reputation, and brand. While a fair offer sounds good on paper, Canelo is known for protecting his value. He has reached a level in his career where he doesn't compromise. His legacy is intact. His bank account is overflowing. So, the incentives need to go beyond financial gain.
Start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Crawford's situation is the opposite. One wrong move could unravel the legacy he's worked so hard to build. Conversely, one major victory could enshrine him in the pantheon of boxing legends. That makes his refusal to entertain any name besides Canelo all the more baffling. A fight against Bivol or Benavidez wouldn't just be competitive, it could surpass a Canelo bout in terms of meaning. Even in defeat, fans would admire the courage. And that admiration often lasts longer than any belt.
Very, very effortlessly. He's a tough guy to deal with, and 12 rounds is a long time. But Crawford has a very deep bag of tricks. He's got great, very high boxing IQ. We always watch him early on. He's collecting data on his opponent. Madrimov was a tough nut to crack. It took him a lot of rounds to figure it out, but 9, 10, 11, 12, he started really pushing that pace, was able to get his hands off.
Instead of branching out, Crawford remains anchored to the idea of facing Canelo. His decision to reject Turkey's massive offer sends conflicting signals. It suggests he's not desperate, but also hints that he's unwilling to pursue other worthy paths. Turkey, for all his efforts, is now at a crossroads. He's proven he's ready to go all in, but that may not be enough. Canelo holds the upper hand, and he knows it. To change that, Turkey would have to deliver something revolutionary, not just another record-setting purse. Crawford's window of opportunity is narrowing. The longer he waits, the more his options evaporate. The boxing landscape moves fast, and legacies wait for no one.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight.
Names like Benavidez, Morel, and Bivol are surging. Each time Crawford passes on a challenge, his relevance inches closer to decline. He might see these fights as beneath him now, but in truth, they may be essential milestones toward the glory he desires. And yet, Crawford chose to face Makhmudov, a fighter many considered unworthy of such a spotlight. While he walked away with a unanimous decision win, it didn't silence the doubters. Canelo, for one, wasn't impressed. In an interview with Fight Hype, he even suggested Makhmudov could have earned a draw or even a win.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's not do that, Canelo.
The others say no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's gonna be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down.
I don't think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. and Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. But what's his options? I mean,
coming from Canelo, that critique wasn't just casual banter, it carried weight. If Crawford wants to face Canelo, he'll need to generate buzz, not concern. And this performance did the opposite. From Crawford's point of view, his debut at a higher weight class was a stepping stone, a way to show he could handle the physicality. But Makhmudov's awkward style and strong amateur background made the bout closer than expected. While Crawford had moments of brilliance, he also allowed Makhmudov to shine, creating doubt instead of certainty.
Turki Alalshikh playing games. Got somebody ask Turki Alalshikh, is this happening? Look at his response about Crawford facing Canelo. Look at his response. Make the fight, Turkey, make the fight.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that is his weight. Yeah. And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better.
For me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in, because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So if the money is right, I'm in right now.
You want financials?
Tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
Heard from him.
We are ready.
Promoter Eddie Hearn echoed those concerns, bluntly stating that Crawford didn't do enough to win decisively. That kind of critique, paired with Canelo's remarks, raises a fundamental question: what reason does Canelo have to fight Crawford now? Canelo is a king at 168 pounds, and every decision he makes is under the spotlight. A fight with Crawford, especially after that performance, risks damaging his brand more than boosting it. Critics would say he chose the easier fight, and they might not be wrong.
With all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot, about the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career.
Even if Canelo were to win, as most expect, the public narrative could turn against him. Instead of praise, he'd be met with skepticism. People would ask why he took on a naturally smaller opponent who hadn't fully proven himself at super middleweight. Crawford may have earned another title belt, but the questions surrounding his power, durability, and adaptability at 168 remain. And Canelo, who thrives on legacy, has no interest in a fight that feels more like a trap than a triumph. Canelo's bout with Edgar Berlanga highlighted what's at stake. Berlanga, while still developing, brought size, power, and credibility to the ring. The win helped reinforce Canelo's dominance in the division. By comparison, Crawford doesn't offer that same validation. His match with Makhmudov was supposed to build momentum. Instead, it added fuel to critics who say he isn't ready for this level.
So how can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. When you come from 147 to put on a better...
In boxing, perception shapes everything. On paper, Crawford got the W. But the reactions from influential voices tell another story. They saw uncertainty where there should have been dominance. Canelo is aware of this and is using it to his advantage. By publicly questioning Crawford's performance, he's shaping the narrative in his favor. He's not dismissing the fight entirely, but he wants it to be on his terms, with minimal risk and maximum reward. For Crawford, collecting belts won't be enough anymore. He'll need to deliver performances so convincing that even his harshest critics have to take notice.
He did
wonderful. You know, I can't. Hey, A++.
Is he one of the best offensive fighters in the game? And
One of them, definitely.
What makes him that fight?
You know what I mean? He's just relentless. You know what I mean? It's pressure, but it's smart pressure.
Right now, the gap between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez feels greater than ever, not in skill necessarily, but in position and leverage. Canelo is already solidified as one of the all-time greats. His legacy is cemented whether he fights Crawford or not. But for Crawford, this fight represents a final pillar to elevate him to that elite echelon. And after the Makhmudov performance, convincing Canelo to step into the ring has become an even steeper uphill climb. A showdown once considered inevitable now feels more like fantasy. The hurdles involved aren't just financial, they're reputational, tactical, and strategic. Canelo remains the biggest financial powerhouse in boxing. His reported $200 million asking price for a potential David Benavidez fight underscores how he's using his worth as a tactical shield. To many, it's not a real offer, it's a message. If the terms don't suit his goals, he's more than willing to price himself out. Even with Turki Alalshikh's nearly $100 million offer to face Crawford, it's clear money alone won't sway Canelo. He's looking for opponents who elevate his legacy, not just his bank account. That's what makes Crawford's case so complicated and why Eddie Hearn has expressed skepticism about the fight ever materializing. Hearn didn't mince words. After speaking directly with Canelo, he revealed that the Mexican star sees little upside in fighting Crawford. I think his feeling is that when he beats Crawford, everyone will say, "I beat a 154-pound fighter," Hearn explained. And therein lies the problem. Canelo feels he has everything to lose and little to gain. A win won't silence critics, and a loss could create shockwaves. The fight feels like a lose-lose situation, and for someone as calculated as Canelo, that's not an appealing scenario. Crawford's vulnerabilities were on display against Makhmudov, a fighter with limited pro experience and a size advantage. That outing raised serious questions. Demetrius Andrade, an elite boxer himself, didn't shy away from addressing them. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, he broke it down. Canelo is a fierce wolf and can run all night. He has agility, not like a robot. Andrade emphasized that while Crawford possesses world-class skills, they may not be enough to offset the sheer physicality Canelo brings at 168 pounds. It's more than just tactics, it's about survival. Even as Andrade praised Crawford's adaptability, he doubted the outcome if they ever met in the ring. "I don't think Crawford can beat Canelo," he admitted. "But I'd still watch the fight." This sentiment is widespread. While many respect Crawford's skill, they also recognize how massive a leap it would be to go from dominating welterweights to dethroning Canelo, a proven super middleweight monster. The gap in size, experience, and conditioning at 168 pounds is no small hurdle. Canelo's reluctance to fight Crawford isn't just about size, it's about narrative. His public persona and brand thrive on authenticity and merit. Facing a naturally smaller opponent who hasn't established dominance in the weight class could damage his reputation more than help it. On the other hand, Crawford is running out of viable, legacy-enhancing options. Fighting Canelo would be the crown jewel of his career, but every roadblock makes it clearer Turki Alalshikh's enthusiasm won't be enough to push the fight into reality.